Hey, everybody. It is a winner tonight. West Virginia 77-67 here on the Mountaineers Now postgame show presented by Country Roads Air Duct Cleaning. I'm Schuyler, Callihan. That is Christopher Hall. And as always, as we open up our show here, a rundown of the numbers. Raekwon Battle had himself a night, 24 points, 5 rebounds. Jesse Edwards with the double-double, 15 and 10 to go with 2 blocks. Darius Johnson pretty much scored the majority of UCF's points tonight, 29 of the 67. As a team, UCF took 38 attempts from beyond three-point range. That is a single season high for them. Now, I really said going into this game that for West Virginia, if they could cut down the points in transition or fast break points, which they gave up 26 to UCF in the first game, that if they cut that number in half, they had a chance in this game. And then the other part of it was getting to the free throw line. They didn't have Jesse Edwards in that first matchup. I thought having Jesse in there would kind of create not necessarily a mismatch, but give them a better chance to compete inside and get to the foul line. They did that. Only gave up 13 points in transition, and they were 18 of 26 from the charity stripe. So much different from what we've seen of late, but this is also a UCF team that's kind of reeling themselves here, Chris.
Yeah, it's not a very good UCF team, and they didn't play with the same energy defensively, didn't put as much pressure on the ball. Some of that may have been a threat because of Jesse Edwards being in the lineup this time. So they still gave up 13 offensive rebounds. You don't like to see that. They put up 70 shots because of it. It's kind of odd that a team puts up 70 shots, 16 more than West Virginia, and they're still on the losing end and losing end by 10. And they had nine, still gave up 15 turnovers. A little better, they've been doing 10 plus the last 3 games in the first half and really put themselves in a hole. I think they only had 7 in the first half, 8 in the second. So they kind of split it up a little bit, but that's still a concern with again, a UCF team that's not very good. They've lost the same amount as West Virginia. I think it was 1 out of the last 5 that they've won since the last 2 met. So there's a lot of negative still out there, but they were able to pull it off. And I think the thing that kind of impresses me with this group is this is a group that they all just came together this summer. They're just now picking up, what was that, their ninth win of the season, and they're still competing. So I give a lot of credit to those kids because it's easy to just kind of
Pack it in.
fold it up, pack it in, fold it up. Let's just get to the off season. But they're still competing and they're still on. Hey, possibly they can make a run in the postseason. They got a lot of work to do. Have they won back-to-back games? When's the last time they've won back-to-back games? So if they've even won back-to-back games this year, I don't even know. So they would have to string some wins together there in the postseason if they think they're going to do some damage. But still a lot of work offensively. They look better, but for this league, for you to compete and win, the games are coming up, they're going to have to continue to improve and make drastic steps offensively and defensively. They're not going to be able to set 2-3 zone like that. There's way too many teams throughout the Big 12 that can shoot far better than UCF. So a lot of work. They can definitely switch defenses and kind of get other teams out of their rhythm, but everyone kind of has to be on the same page, and communication will have to be key going down the stretch.
Yeah, they actually opened up 10 of 13 from the field. I mean, they were just hitting just about everything that they threw up. Some of these shots were not easy ones either. I mean, they were heavily contested. Raekwon Battle, I know that mid-range jumper along the baseline, that was a tough shot that he made at the beginning. I thought the ball just moved for once. Like, and there was obviously some spots where it got a little stagnant and it stuck, but it just felt like from the get-go, the emphasis was to just move the ball, constantly have all 5 pieces of the offense moving, and it led to success. I don't know if they were trying to play faster in the half court or not, but it looked like it. And then I think on the defensive end, it looked like they were actually having the willingness to play defense and sit down, whether it was in that zone or the man to man. And they played with a lot of intent, I thought, on that end. Now, towards the end of the first half, UCF threw the zone look at them. It kind of slowed things down a little bit. They cut it down to, I believe, 37-30 at the half. But for me,
Technically, it was 5. We were
yeah,
having a little bit of
technically,
debate on how you can go back plays later after an offensive goaltend and then review it. That makes zero
and take it
sense.
off. Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, they did it twice tonight. So I've never seen that, and they did it twice within the first half. So it's just a typical night in college basketball where you're just shaking your head um, at the rules. Jesse Edwards gets hit in the face, and it's not a flagrant foul. Any hit to the face is supposed to be at least a flagrant one.
Yeah,
That never
and
gets
there was
called in
the
West
one
Virginia's
with
favor.
I don't know if it was him or Raekwon where they weren't even going to review it, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden they finally went over
it's
there. I'm like,
it's it's so like there needs to be something with officiating, but yeah, there was two goaltendings that were reversed. They called one on a Cook, that they said was goaltending, and when they reviewed it at halftime, they took it away. So they took 2 points off the board at halftime. And I was probably with over a minute left in the game.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it doesn't make sense why they would do that. It's a dead ball. When you blow the whistle, that's a dead ball. You should review it right then because the first one that they took away from West Virginia when they went and reviewed, like West Virginia got the ball right back, and if anything, the possession area was towards West Virginia, so that would have negated probably the three that they just hit as the shot clock expired, and that's what they originally went to review to see if he got it off in time, which it was clear that he got it off in playing time. So I
yeah.
have no idea how that transpired, how that's even a rule is amazing to me. So just another typical night in college basketball where you just walk away from a game and say,
And
"What the hell just happened there?"
it's head scratching. It's always something. But I mean, defensively, like I think that's the thing that really stood out because we've seen. I think it was a couple of games ago where they went in the 3 or 4 game stretch where they were actually playing fairly decent defensively. And then things kind of got out of hand there for a game or two. But this game in particular, the second half, they really, locked things down. I think they held, where my numbers go here. UCF only shot 28% from the field in the second half, 18% from three. So, when they tried to get back into the game, they tried to cut into that double digit deficit. They just couldn't. West Virginia would either have an answer or they'd string together a few stops. And this one never really felt like it was in doubt. I mean, they led wire to wire, but even it felt like when they took that, I think it was 11-4 lead early in the game. It just felt like they had a good handle on this
Yeah, and I kind of go back to UCF just not playing with the same energy from that first time around.
one. Yeah.
It's the scout's
It
out.
honestly
The
looked
scout has
polar
been out.
opposites.
If you pressure Kirk Carissa on the ball, um, they struggle.
Yeah.
They just don't get the help. Then Kirk tries to do too much. He gets frustrated. Gets a foul called on him. He gets in his own head. So no idea why they had quote unquote full court pressure because they didn't really pressure. So they just let him pass the ball in and move it up. So I don't really know if it was just they just came out lethargic, travel, just getting kind of wore down in the conference. But I would, again, I credit West Virginia, but at the same time, I don't think West Virginia really excelled at anything other than UCF. Just they're not a very good team, and they're kind of down right now themselves.
Yeah, it just didn't look like the normal disaster, which is an improvement.
Yeah,
So,
hopefully,
as long as
it would be nice if it wasn't a normal disaster coming up, but
yeah,
I'm not very optimistic with this group. I know they're going to remain competitive. They still want to try to do something, but it's just hard to remain optimistic from when they have played good teams of recent. It's been really ugly, and they're about to just go into another 2 game gauntlet here with Iowa State and Kansas State, and that's on the road as well. And they have not
yeah,
fared well on the road. It's
yeah, yeah. Speak of
enjoy the win
disaster.
tonight, and kind of hopefully something cool happens here over the weekend.
And as you said, speaking of disasters, they're about to deal with a natural disaster with Iowa State, the Cyclones on Saturday. They're heating up, as you said. They did lose their last game, but they are 9-4 in a second place. Actually, no, they're not in the second place tie. They sit all alone in second place, 1 game behind Houston in the Big 12
They
standings.
also just played Houston at Houston,
Yeah,
so and they played them tough. That was a good game. I actually watched that game. So
yeah, and look at them. I mean, they've shot up all the way to number 6 in the country.
yeah,
So this is, and we all know Hilton's a tough place to play. This team has not
they're
won a
big
game on the
and they're
road this year.
exactly what West Virginia doesn't want. They're big and physical, both
Yeah.
teams. So
So
they're
this
gonna
one
want
might
to be
get ugly.
hostile. It's gonna be hostile in the Hilton. They're gonna have to remain cool, calm, and collective, and kind of withstand that surge and stay within a couple possessions the best they can, and hopefully make a run in the second half. That's all you can really ask for.
Yeah. So, I mean, as of right now, as we record this, West Virginia is now tied with UCF. I believe that would be 13th place, 4-9. The standings I got pulled up here are all wacky, but I think that they'd be tied for 13th. So if they do win, they got a chance to move up, depending on some of the other results around the league. So once again, West Virginia winners 77-67 over the UCF Knights. They split the season series in the Knights' inaugural year in the Big 12, and they'll be taking on the Iowa State Cyclones on Saturday. Out in Ames. That one's on ESPN2, a nationally televised game, folks. We actually have one of those again. So that one will be tipping off on ESPN2 at 2 p.m. We'll have the post-game coverage here for you on Mountaineers Now. And make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Give us a like and a follow on X at the same handle. For Christopher Hall, I'm Schuyler Callihan. You've been watching the Mountaineers Now post-game show presented by Country Roads Air Duct Cleaning. Take me home to comfort.